Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome into the number one group of five college football show in the history of the entire universe. This is the group of five guys, and our mission is to be the voice. Seems like the lone voice for the group of five football programs, voice that the mainstream sports media and all the talking heads absolutely refuse to be. We need your help to do that. Hit the follow button on all the social platforms at Group of Five Guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Believe Network, wherever you get your best podcasts. Subscribe to the channel, leave a 5-star rating and a review. Most importantly, tell your family and friends all about us. We had the CFP rankings come out last night. We got to talk about that. We had 3 elite MACtion games last night. We got a couple MAC games tonight and plenty more. Hope you enjoy the show. This is the group of five guys, and we are coming to you live.
They got Old Dominion week 3, and ODU is by no means a layup. The group of five guys told me that, so that has to be true.
We looked at each other, we was like, Mike, the best place to be is a group of five. So I'm sitting here with the group of five guys, right?
Troy has won, it's been a winner, and it's a special place, so it's why you want the job.
But it's a ton of fun to watch a guy go to the NFL from a Nevada or a Colorado State or a Middle Tennessee or an App State, and fans follow that kid.
Those across there, you want to have this thing packed out, have the student section packed out, giving those guys hell on the sideline. I mean, that's part of it. I mean,
win or lose, like we're winning the tailgate.
There's no better place to be developed in this country than Boise State.
Well, Jeff, another Wednesday. We only got, next week's Thanksgiving, so we probably, I imagine we won't do a Friday show. We only got a couple shows left on the regularly scheduled programming.
It's been a grind, Sprouse. We've been hard at it.
It's been a grind. I'll tell you, I cannot wait to hopefully get to a conference championship game here in a couple of weeks. Of course, it all depends on where and how easy or difficult it is to get to said place. Down to only a couple options, but we'll make it happen. I've already taken the days off of work, so
Sprouse, we
should be good to go.
We could be taking our town back to Jacksonville, Alabama.
I wouldn't be opposed to it, Jeff. Spend a little more time. We always say, like, for those of you listening, and when we talk amongst each other, you got to go at least twice, but it's that third time you go, that's the best one, because you go once, and typically when we go the first time, it's just showing up. Like, we're not making a big thing. We're not announcing, other than maybe taking a few pictures. If we're lucky, we'll get a facility tour on that first time. But we just kind of see the atmosphere. Then we go the second time, we get the tour, we'll spend some time in the town. And then that third time, especially if you get an overnight trip, you really get to experience the entire weekend, college football game day weekend in whatever college town that may be. But, that would be the third time in Jacksonville. It would be the first time in Harrisonburg, which is definitely on our bucket list. It would be the third time in New Orleans. If that happened to go down, it would be the first time in Annapolis. It would be the first time in Denton. Although we've been to Denton as players, the last time we went, I think you had been gone by then. The last time I went to Denton, we got smacked by a not very good North Texas team. I think you were gone. I don't know.
The last time I was there, we got rolled.
Well, then we get rolled all the time, maybe. Well, I swear we used to beat them badly at home all the time, and then we'd go there. They'd be like both of us bad. Yeah. They're just like, we're going to get this win. And then the home team would just annihilate. But anyway, you mentioned it being a grind. You know what's getting us through. You see that Statesboro Sprouse. Everybody get a good look at that. Decker Gray Coffee, the official coffee roaster of the group of five guys. This is roast to order coffee. Go to decagray.com. You select whichever roast you want. They've got several different blends. They've got all the holiday blends right around this time of year. You put them in your cart. You put in our promo code GOFG. That's when they roast the coffee. That's when they put it in the bag. And that's when they ship it directly to your doorstep. Whole bean, ground coffee, and K-Cups are available. Make sure you check out decagray.com. Also, Levels Sports Picks. You want the best plays for college football, NFL, WNBA, NBA, boxing, UFC, golf, NHL, every sport you can possibly think of. I'm surprised they're not betting on video games streaming yet. They might start. We might start doing it. But make sure you check out that Level Sports Picks Discord. The link is in our bio on all the social platforms. Make sure you check that out. It'll help us out tremendously. Now, Jeff, it's like clockwork, isn't it?
It really is.
The media talking heads, and this week it's been more so the podcasters, the creators, I guess, if you will. It's like they get their assignment sent down from whoever the hell it is, whoever they claim that they don't work for.
Paul Feinbaum himself.
It's like they get their assignment and say, hey, guys, getting a lot of traction for more than one group of 5 team in the playoff. We're getting a lot of traction for an expanded playoff where we have to honor on-field results and we have to honor championships. So come out and say something negative about the group of 5 today. And then like clockwork, you look on social media, you look at your timeline, and all the different talking heads got something to say. Yesterday was, just a tradition like unlike any other, if you will. But I know you've got a clip from a couple guys. I like the show, and I typically like their interviews, and but they just they had something to say. The old Bussin' with the Boys crew had something to say about the group of 5 yesterday.
And typically, Sprouse, when you hit the nail on the head, I like the boys. I'm a fan of the boys. Will Compton's wife Charo is friends of my dear sister Michelle, who was a Raiderette at the time. His wife was a Washington Commanders cheerleader at the time. We got to know each other, and here we are, Sprouse. Little clip from their show.
Here we are on November 19th, 2025, in the year of our Lord. We ought to address it.
Yeah, there we go.
I want to see the teams where, from a recruiting level, these conferences have the advantage. NIL budget is way bigger. They have more money poured into these kids.
Right.
They're higher ranked recruits, but I do not want to see these teams in the ACC or the G5 who's gotten dummied by teams in their conferences who aren't worth the shit.
You have to do something spectacular, a undefeated type of season, in my mind, to make it into the playoffs. It might hurt. It might not be what you want to hear, but the landscape of college football and where we live right now is so much different than it was 5 years ago. We have teams where we have $50 million roster taking place. JMU, I love what you guys have been able to do. It's amazing. To put you in the playoffs is like putting that goat on the stand with the Jurassic Park with the T-Rex that goes and all of a sudden he gets his ass fucking murdered. Like, that is just the reality of what is going to happen here. But if you're a G5 team and you're upset if you're 11-1 and don't make the playoffs, it's not about you. You have to go 12-0 to show that you can be competitive in this world. Now, if JMU makes it into the playoffs, they play that first game, even if they don't win that game, but they lose it by a field goal, less than a touchdown situation, I will bend the knee and say, hey, I was wrong on this take. However, you've got to be 12-0 and be dominating these lesser than teams if you think you're going to walk into SEC, Big 10, hell, even the Big 12 country and be able to play competitively against these guys.
All right, Sprouse. I'll let you take it away first.
Okay. Well, first of all, imagine being a Nebraska guy and talking about being smacked around by your own conference. I mean, can you imagine? But anyway, wasn't it Taylor Lewan who said something very similar when Cincinnati lost to Alabama? And then just a couple hours later, his beloved Michigan Wolverines got beat even worse on the same day in that same playoff. And by the way, Cincinnati was down 17-6 going into the fourth quarter. That Michigan team down 27-3 at halftime. Got absolutely smoked. And you know what they did the next year? They put Michigan in again. They gave them another chance. And you know what happened? They got smacked around by TCU. And you know what they did? They gave them another chance. Gave them a third chance. They got a little closer, and then they finally won something. And imagine. So for those of you that don't know, Taylor Lewan played at Michigan. Will Compton played at Nebraska. Is that accurate there, Jeff?
It is. Both played in the NFL.
By all researched notes, by all metrics, has a top 10 national football budget. So they're talking about these teams with, I want to see teams with the recruiting budgets, with NIL, with this, with that. Well, Nebraska has always been a top 10 National Football budget. They got all the money. They got all the fans. They got all the resources everyone can ever imagine, and yet have not finished better than 10th in their own conference since 2016, behind teams like Northwestern, Purdue, Indiana, Michigan State, all teams with much lesser resources and budget. All that money has translated to a perennial 4-win program, which typically those 4 wins are an FCS, 2 of the worst teams in the MAC, and maybe they sneak up on 1 team in their conference. All that money, 28 straight losses to ranked opponents for Nebraska. Top 10 budget, all that money, all those resources. And then the nerve to bring up James Madison, who, by the way, sent their coach and half their roster to Indiana in the Big Ten and immediately started dominating that conference. By the way, just in case anybody forgot about that roster, we want to see them in there now. Now we're all in on the Indiana train. Last year, we were, no, they're not. But then all of a sudden you realize, oh, they're pretty damn good. Oh, these guys from James Madison are pretty damn good. This coach is pretty damn good. He's probably the best in our conference now. So all that money, all those resources, and we get the same result as everybody else, just mediocre at best. And then you got the nerve to, you talk about the goat in Jurassic Park or whatever that is. It's more like if you were to release a goat in the wild. Like, you know what? They might get killed. They might. But you know what? They got a chance. They can run away. They can do whatever they can. They got whatever slim chance it is. They can get away. They can at least fight. And that's all we want, man. That's all we want. You don't need, again, like, you don't need 6 teams from the one conference. That's the part that kills me the most, dude. You put 4 teams from the SEC, 3 or 4 teams from the Big Ten in the playoff, and all but one of them gets smoked every year. I mean, you saw it last year with the SEC. Tennessee gets blown out. No mention of it. They all lose. They all lose by big margins. And then one of them wins a game, and they say, look at how dominant our conference is. 1 out of our 4 teams won a playoff game. Congratulations.
Well, it's not just Tennessee. You had Oregon, who got blown out last year. I mean, you just go right down the bracket, and he mentions if they lose within a field goal, right? That was his thing, JMU. Well, let's just go since 2021, because I'm not going to count COVID out of the last 5 years. You know how many playoff games? All, not group of 5, the entire playoff, every game that's been played, it has been settled. This is P4 on P4 by 3 points. 2 games, only 2. So this is, by your own metric, your own teams can't even keep it within a field goal, but yet you're giving the group of 5 rep. We have to only lose by a field goal, because I can look Ohio State, Texas, 28-14. Let's go Notre Dame, Georgia, 23-10. Arizona State, that was 39-31. Ohio State, Oregon, 41-21. Like, I can read right down the list of double-digit game after game after game for the last 4 years of Power 4 on Power 4. So should those teams now not be allowed in the playoff because they're not keeping it within a field goal margin? So I'm just trying to understand the playing field that is set up for the group of 5 that we're held to, but the own teams in the Big Ten, in the Big 12. And you know what's funny, too, is they just right off the bat, let's just throw shade at the ACC. I don't want to see the ACC in there. How about that? It's like somebody's been on the airwaves for the last 4 years saying, you know, ACC, Big 12, they don't want you either. Outside of Clemson, outside of Florida State.
Yep.
So I typically love the boys. I do. I'm a fan. But this is a bad take. It's a bad take. But it's okay. We all have them.
Well, you know, one other thing, and you mentioned the previous results, and, you know, they take one group of 5 team losing a certain way, and they lump that in as if every other in the 5 different conferences, every other team is going to have that same result. When, you know, I mentioned that Michigan run where, you know, wasn't it, I think it was year after, you didn't Alabama beat Ohio State by 3 or 4 touchdowns in a championship game. And then wasn't it the following year, Michigan lost by 4 touchdowns to Georgia in the first round of the playoffs. And then the second year, TCU, I know it ended up being close, but TCU beat the crap out of Michigan.
55 or 51-45. But yeah, that game was not.
You know, TCU was up 2 and 3 scores the entire game. But you know, and what happens is they keep giving them chance after chance after chance. And then finally, the Big Ten wins one. And now what is it? No, the Big Ten. I mean, look at the Big Ten. Power 2. Big Ten's winning national championships 2 in a row. Yeah, but you got smoked 5 years in a row. It's same thing with like a Notre Dame. We know, I mean, Notre Dame has a track record worse than anybody else of BCS New Year's playoff games getting crushed. And year after year after year, they get put in. When what does Cincinnati have anything to do with Tulane or James Madison this year? Nothing. What does Boise State last year have anything to do with James Madison this year? Zero. None of the same conference, none of the same players, totally different roster, totally different schedule, totally different everything. And again, maybe they will get smoked because we know what you're going to do. You're going to give them the worst possible route, but give us a chance. That's all we want. That's all we want is a chance. We want to see James Madison, who has lost one game close. And if you watched it, which I know you didn't, their play calling and quarterback situation cost them that game. I promise you, everybody wants to talk about, well, if they played today on a neutral site, they would win. I promise you, I got all the confidence in the world in James Madison over that Louisville team right now. But I know it doesn't count when you're talking about us. And all they want to do, and then, so this is not the bussing guys, but all the Twitter people, oh, Tulane would be 3 touchdown underdogs against Texas Tech. And what? Like, what do we do any competition for ever? If we just look at paper, and that's what they do. You know, that's what these guys do. They talk about, I heard them talking about it, when they were debating Notre Dame and Miami. Actually, this was Trevor Maddich, who I typically am very annoyed by, was like, he was the only one. They were looking at him like he was an idiot when he was like, yeah, guys, but Miami beat Notre Dame. And they were like, yeah, but Notre Dame would be favored. They're better today. And he was like, yeah, but they played and they lost.
Yeah.
And he was just saying, like, what do we even do? Why do we even have this sport if we only care about, paper and odds and these things? And, it's a shame, man. But
it really is. And it's the only sport we do this for.
Yeah.
And I understand the physical element to this sport. And now you throw all this money in it. I get it. But if we're a goat in Jurassic Park, I mean, there's one T-Rex every single year.
Exactly.
And you can go back year after year after year that they demolish everybody, but you still got to play the game. It's no different in college football or college basketball tournament, baseball tournament. You have your favorites. You got them. And they might blow through everybody, but damn it, you still have to play the game. You can't do this paper champion bullshit. And Taylor Lewan and Will Compton, I thought you guys were better than I thought you guys were athletes. I thought you guys got it. But you've drinking the mainstream media Kool-Aid is what you've done.
Fairly certain Michigan's been highly or big time underdogs the last 4 times they've played Ohio State. Fairly certain. And they've won all of them. So you'd think you would, like you said, as a competitor, otherwise they shouldn't play the game. They should be like, you know what, Ohio State, you're number 1 in the country. You should just go ahead and not play that just because.
That's right.
So you can get your spot in the playoff and be number 1. I would not play that game. Your favorite anyway. Let's just go ahead and cancel it.
And Spress, last thing I'll say is, and I'm going to just keep beating this drum. If I wanted to see 6 teams from one conference play each other again, I'd just go watch the regular season. And watch the SEC the last 2-3 weeks, or the Big Ten the last 2-3 weeks, because all those teams have played each other at some point. Pretty much, I'm fine with 2 or 3 teams. Just give every other conference their champion a spot. Let's push this thing out to 16 or 24 teams. Every conference champ gets in, and then you get your next.
Put them in, yeah.
Put them in.
Put your 4 SEC teams in there.
Why are you against more football?
Yeah,
I can't understand it.
I don't understand. I'll tell you what the solution is. And again, they did this to themselves, but the solution is smaller conferences. And you could eliminate at this point, I think you eliminate championship games because there's already that narrative being pushed about you shouldn't, you rather not play for the championship because if you lose, you might get out. You got to just do it like the NFL now. Go to conferences. You play your conference. Maybe you play week one. Maybe there's a week one, non-conference sort of a tune-up game. You can make it a big thing if you want. You can play an FCS. You can play whoever you want to play, and then play your little 9 conference games. Everybody plays each other, and you have a winner. And then you go to the playoff with the winners of the conference. And hear me out on this, Jeff. By the way, I was thinking about this. I know we'll never do it, but if you went to, let's just say you went to, I don't know, 14. That's about how many teams are. If you went to 14 10-team conferences, okay, you played 10 games. I think you get the season over with the week before Thanksgiving. This week will be the final week of the regular season. No championship games anymore. I've changed my tune on this. You know what you do on Thanksgiving weekend, Jeff? Leave it all by itself. Army, Navy. You put that out there on Thanksgiving when everybody's at home wanting to watch football. You watch Army, Navy, and by itself, since you're not playing championship games anymore, that's a conference game. You make it a conference game, and that's it. Leave it by itself. Do it the same thing you've been doing forever. Thanksgiving, and then we start playoffs December. National championship, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, or, whenever that falls, whatever that weekend is. And then that way you don't have to deal with this NFL playing their games on Saturdays and Thursdays and all the things they try to do in January. But again, they wanted these 16-team conferences. So now you literally have in the same conference teams that are saying, well, they didn't play anybody. Everybody's saying that about Texas A&M. Their entire SEC schedule is the bottom half of the SEC. So again, that's the other argument. We say this all the time is, Tulane will beat Northwestern. They'll say, oh, that's Northwestern. They're not good. Okay. Then they'll beat Duke. That's Duke. That's not a good one. And then Memphis will beat Arkansas. Oh, Arkansas sucks. They're not very good. You'll go down the list. And then next thing you know, you're halfway through a conference and all these teams are not good. And then what happens? Well, you get to the top 3 or 4 schools and they're pretty good. And everybody else is just everybody else. But anyway, you got Tulane in there at 24 right now. So they'll be the 12th seed. And by the way, if there was ever a team to play in the first round, Texas Tech, I mean, I didn't really watch them. I know they're real good on defense this year, but they're not going to be the physical Ohio State team. You know what I'm saying?
No, they're not.
So I'd take that matchup. I like that.
No doubt.
It'll change, though. It'll change. That was the other thing. Sorry. And I know Will or Taylor just said something about totally lost my train of thought. I'm so flustered at this whole thing. I don't remember what I was going to say. So
it's all good.
Oh, no, they said the Big 12. We get the Big 12 in there. Just a quick reminder that half of the Big 12 was Group of 5 like 3 years ago. The exactly ACC's got teams. SMU's in the Group of 5 3 years ago. Cincinnati, UCF, Houston, who, by the way, is doing very good in that top 25 Group of 5 team a couple years ago.
No,
Utah in the Big 12.
It's different now.
Oh, they got a new patch.
That's it.
And they got a new TV deal. So now all of a sudden they're better on the field. Anyway, here's the thing about Tulane being in there at 24. Yeah, with Duke losing last week, we're not getting 2 teams. I'm just going to be a realist here. Barring like absolute chaos, I don't think we're getting 2 teams in the playoff. So
there's not a chance.
So where is James Madison? Where is North Texas? Where is Navy? Because when you look at the American, that'll end up being the tiebreaker. If Tulane, that one layer of the tiebreaker is always, if they were ranked and lose, it's the team jumps them. If they were ranked and they win, they're in as far as hosting a championship game or if there's any kind of tiebreaker. So we look at East Carolina in the American, North Texas, Navy. How's that tiebreaker going to work out? Where are they ranked? If Tulane were to drop a game, who is the one that is right behind them in the rankings? Got to be North Texas, you'd think. And then where is James Madison? Are they ahead of North Texas? Or are they behind North Texas? Are they ahead of Navy, behind Navy? I imagine that, the committee's got them all 26, 27, and 28 just to have them there, because they got to be having that conversation now. Because what they can't do is Tulane gets upset or something in a championship game. Oh my God, what are we going to do? You'd think if they're close, James Madison's not going to be able to jump Tulane unless they lose, because James Madison won't play anybody that the committee deems worthy of jumping. And then if a North Texas or a Navy or an East Carolina, probably not East Carolina with the 3 losses, but a Navy or a North Texas, if they're behind James Madison and it's close and they win the conference, that means they will have to Navy, especially now. Navy, look out, because they could have a run where they just beat South Florida, Memphis, and Tulane 3 weeks in a row, or 3 out of 4 weeks. Is that enough to jump everybody, to jump a James Madison, who might be, I would think, ahead of them by a little bit right now?
I think it would be if Navy runs that table, because you're already seeing the Sun Belt specific hatred and lack of respect for James Madison. Not being ranked, I think, is absurd. Yeah. I think it's crazy if you look at, obviously, that Louisville game, but their margin of victory in most of their games and the way they've done it. Like, just that's what blows my mind is we can look at matchups. We can look and say, oh, the Sun Belt's terrible. If I had James Madison's schedule, I'm not disagreeing that you wouldn't be a one-loss team or maybe even undefeated. What I am saying is when you turn on the film and the tape, they look, and it has nothing to do with who they are playing. It is how they look. Position group by position group by position group, game in and game out. They have been the most consistent team outside of probably North Texas, outside of the one game with South Florida. That's the only other team that I can say, in my opinion, that week in and week out has pretty much shown up. They might have a quarter or here or there that it's like, it's a rough one, but by and large, they have looked consistent offensively. They have looked stout defensively, especially in the trenches. That's what I want. That's what I want to see. I love Tulane. I'm rocking the hat. We're friends of John Sumrall, big Tulane fans. They have not looked consistent all year.
John Sumrall said it yesterday.
He said it yesterday. He goes, there must be a lot of bad football being played if we're ranked number 24. And he's right.
There is some bad football being played. That's the problem. Jeff, as you're going, I'm thinking too, I keep going back to that clip, and they talked about the ACC, which it's the same points of what the committee's doing, because the committee again puts Miami in there as the ACC champion. Miami is what the odds are, like 3% that they can win the ACC right now, because they have to. And I'm not saying they're not better than whoever is going to win the ACC, but again, that they did that to themselves by getting these big conferences. But that's just proof that you don't want the ACC. Oh, but we'll take that one. We'll take that one. We'll take Miami because they've got a brand. Yep. They'll get ratings because people, love or hate Miami. And so it's just, but why? They can't win their conference. Yeah, they got a brand, but they lost to SMU.
Currently sitting
they lost to Louisville.
5th in the ACC at 4-2.
Yeah.
I don't see how they make it.
They don't make it. So now they're probably where were they at 13? I think, right? They're probably going to get in if they win. Which you're talking to a guy, Jeff. This is a tale as old as time. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen to the Miami Hurricanes. I grew up a fan. I know that what's going to happen to them. They'll get up. They'll win this week. I think they play Virginia Tech, I think, this week. Although, by the way, I don't know. Do you get a head coach announcement bump the same way you get an interim head coaching bump for Virginia Tech? They'll beat Virginia Tech, and then they'll get in. They'll be at 11, and all they'll have to do is go up to Pittsburgh and beat the Panthers in Pittsburgh the day after Thanksgiving, and it's going to be cold. And Miami's going to get that ass whipped. You just watch. It is a tale as old as time for the Miami Hurricanes. But it's neither here nor there. We got to talk about, speaking of Tulane, speaking of John Sumrall, you got to talk about this coaching carousel. James Franklin hired at Virginia Tech, which I'm happy for him. Virginia Tech's a cool spot. You know, I part of me hopes Virginia Tech gets really good and he can stick a middle finger to Penn State, because I think that was BS what they did to him. Rumors swirling of Chesney to Penn State and then I've also seen Chesney to UCLA, but I don't know why the hell you'd go out there. He's an East Coast guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why you go to UCLA.
Recruiting doesn't make a whole lot of sense in that move, and you're gonna the money issue, moving your fan. Like, you got a lot of factors in that one. That one doesn't make sense. I gotta really quick go to the James Franklin move to Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
I hope he goes there and crushes it, because I think James Franklin is a really, really good coach. If you've looked at how well his teams have performed, how he's recruited, all those things, yeah, sure. It's a fair thing to say that he just doesn't win the big game. Fair assumption. But be careful what you wish for, Penn State, because I would say he's one of the top 5, definitely top 10 head coaches in the country. And there's not a lot of them out there. And you just gave one up, got rid of him. Like, there's not that many really good coaches out there. There's just not. And you're going to reach on a young guy. I'm not saying I think Chesney's a great coach, but you're going to reach and you're going to start going 6-6, 7-5 when you've just been a playoff team year in and year out. Like, there is only one team that is winning it every single year, and it just happens to be the last couple of years. That team has been in their conference. They've played them. So just again, like, we are so quick to pull the trigger on coaches or as players, so quick to jump and transfer. Like, it doesn't mean the grass is always greener. When you have something good, and this goes for the group of 5, like, if you're contending in conference year in and year out, like, yes, you should win it at some point, but just be careful. I'm telling you.
Well, and you know, now, like, with all the jobs that are open, only one team, like, they all want Lane Kiffin. He's only going to one place. If he goes anywhere, he might go to the NFL, which would be phenomenal. Yeah. I hope he does that. I hope he goes to the Dolphins. But anyway, everybody else is going to get their second or third or fourth. You look at Auburn, LSU, Florida. Which of those 3, you know, Auburn's probably the coolest place to live, family. Probably I don't know. They're all 3 of those are nut job fan bases. I mean, just nut job.
Delusional.
Auburn's probably the most nutty of that group. Maybe, I don't know. You know, so, but anyway, so only one of them is going to get the guy they want. I feel like they all want the same guy. So then you're right. They're going to get a secondary choice. And if you look at historically, especially at Auburn, well, they're ready to fire guys before they even get there. They hire somebody, and then one booster's like, I don't like it, and they start wanting them out already before they even start. So just all these coaches, man, just look out. And it would be awesome if some of these group of 5 coaches stayed. I don't think they will. I mean, realistically, not over and over and over again. Where there's smoke, there's fire, right?
Yeah.
And then you wonder too, like, did you see the report about Ole Miss giving Lane Kiffin an ultimatum? Ole Miss, there ain't no way that they would fire that guy in the middle of a playoff potential national championship run because he won't put a ring on it or whatever the hell they want to say.
He came out and said there's no truth to that story.
Yeah, well, and you wonder with something like that. Okay, is that an agent sort of planting something like that? I don't know how that benefits him in that situation to do something like that. Or is it, I think it was On3 is the one that reported it. Is it just a totally fabricated, made up story? Probably. In today's media world, probably. Or is it, ridiculous. You know, these guys, did you see on a message board somewhere, like somebody that says, you know, you see these message boards, I'm friends with a buddy who is very tight with the athletic director. He says it's a done deal. It's like, come on, dude. The anonymous 6'9", 2000, you know, on the thing. And it's totally fabricated. Or is there some truth to it? And Kiffin's lying. Maybe that too. I mean, it's not like that guy's never misled some people, you know? But I got a little bit of a theory, Jeff. A little bit of a hot take. Not necessarily Group of 5 related, but it's coaching related. I was talking to somebody at work here the other day, and these are all I'm amongst. They walk amongst me, Jeff. I mean, Alabama, Georgia, Auburn. These guys were yesterday, Jeff. These guys were looking at a towel. We were looking at a terry towel, a bar towel. They got blue and orange stripes on them, and these guys were. I promise you now. Can we get a towel with different colors in this? And I was like, what are you talking about? It's blue and it's Auburn colors. And the guy was a Georgia guy. He didn't like the stripes on the terry towel. I mean, but anyway, we got to talking about it. And then they were talking about Auburn and Alabama, and they were talking about the Iron Bowl and this and that. And I said, I'm going to tell you right now, this will be the year that Auburn, like, this is the kind of year where Auburn will beat them.
Yeah.
Auburn's bad. Bama's pretty good, but they, have struggled at times. And these guys were also, well, they're going to fire DeBoer if they lose that game. And they might, if they lose to Auburn and miss out on the playoffs again. My hot take is that's what everybody's waiting on, because Lane Kiffin, that's probably where he wants to go. So my hot take is everybody's waiting to see if Auburn beats Alabama and they run DeBoer out of town, which would be crazy, by the way. Then that's the domino.
Yeah.
That's the one they're waiting to. They don't want to go accept Florida when Alabama might be open. They don't want to go accept Auburn. Alabama might come open, or then Ole Miss, and this big domino effect might happen. I don't know. It's a hot take. It's probably not going to happen. But if it does happen, remember where you heard it first.
That's right. Well, we got some action, Sprouse.
I know, Jeff. I know. Listen, Western Michigan and NIU. It took Western Michigan a quarter and a half to get warmed up. But don't look now. 7 out of their last 8, Western Michigan's won. 3 guys ran for 90 plus. Jalen Buckley had another big game. I'm happy for him.
Me too.
He's been good his whole career, and he's been on some not terrible, but he's been on some bad teams at Western Michigan, or not great teams, not contending teams. And I guarantee you he had the opportunity to go elsewhere. And he stuck it out, and he's having another really good year. And his team starts the year freaking 0-3, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And they're on a run, and they look to be the best team in the MAC. And he's the best player on that team. And I couldn't be happier for a guy like that.
I agree. And somebody before the season, I think, had Western Michigan as a dark horse. I can't remember. I can't keep up with these things. But yeah, Jalen Buckley, seeing what he's been doing this year is just, like you said, couldn't be more happy for the kid. And man, but to me, it comes down to Brock Lowry, and it's not his arm.
His arm.
It ain't his arm. 5 of 9 for 32 yards. Then he's a lot better thrower than that performance, but gets in the end zone 3 times, over 100 yards. I mean, and their defense has played really well this year. And I know NIU is not putting up a ton of points this year, but just consistently all year, this defense has played tough. They're physical at the point of attack. And man, you got the Broncos sitting 6-1 in the MAC, leading the way.
Well, you're right about their defense. I mean, you look back and the 2 games, there's 2 or 3 games that they gave up a ton of points. One was North Texas, who they took to the wire, by the way. And one was Illinois, I think, who at the time was like a top 10 team. So Western Michigan, their defense has played well all year. And you're right. When you got 3 guys that can run for 100 yards on any given day, and NIU, it's not like the NIU's defense is terrible. So, but they still can't. I mean, NIU offensively, they can't figure it out. I feel bad for them. I really do. I feel bad for Coach Hammock. I feel bad for anybody that plays on that defense, because their offense just cannot get it going. Then you go to UMass in Ohio. You get lightning delays. You get rain. You get UMass going right down the field on the first drive, and then you think, I almost texted you a screenshot when it was, NIU was up, UMass was up, Akron was up. Like, oh boy. Now Akron, Bowling Green's not very good, but we'll talk about that game in a second. But Ohio figured it out. Bangura, big day out of him. That weather was so bad. And again, that's where you're built. We talk about all of these teams. Like, I know the MAC more than likely is not going to have a playoff rep unless there's some more expansion. But when you have to play in December or January on the road and you're in the Big Ten, or you got to go to one of the Northern ACC schools, like you got to be built a certain way. And some of these teams that are built to throw it all over the place and run and shoot, like you wonder that for, well, I mean, North Texas can run the ball too, but you wonder how that comes into play if they were to say make the playoff and then they got to go up north and play in Indiana or in Ohio State on the road and it's snowing. You got to be built to be able to do what Western Michigan and Ohio did last night when the weather's bad. Can't throw it. I mean, so you got to be able to run it and more, and you got to be creative running it too. You can't just hand it up the middle. Boise State. Sorry.
Always throwing shit at them this year. Yeah. The Bobcats obviously get it done. Bangor had a big day, but I got to give a shout out to Duncan Byrne. This dude in the backfield. I mean, he reminds me, he's not as thick as Mike Alstott, but damn, he runs hard with the low center of gravity. He trucked a guy towards the end of the game almost to score, and then ended up like running over his own teammate. I think the kid got hurt. I think he got rolled up. But man, just put his tape on and watch him. He runs violent. And to have a hammer to Bangora like that, and then you have Parker Navarro who's back there. I mean, you have a three-headed monster. All three of them had 2 touchdowns. And I know it's UMass, but he was fun to watch. The Bobcats get it done in crappy weather. The MAC race is starting to slim down just a little bit, Sprouse.
So what do we have now with Ohio and Western Michigan, and then Central Michigan and Buffalo and Miami? They all play tonight.
So you'll have all of them will have either another win or a loss, which will get it down to about half the conference at this point with 2 losses.
Sorry, Jeff. I'm laughing because you said all of them will either have a win or a loss. Oh, will they?
Yeah, that was dumb. That was a dumb point.
Good point.
I was trying to buy myself some time as I was pulling up the standings.
I got it.
But yeah, Western Michigan at the top with 1 loss. Then you have Ohio, Central Michigan, Toledo, of course, still right there. Buffalo, Miami with 2 losses, and then how about? Well, I know we'll get to them. How about Akron?
I know, but Akron, I
one win away from bowl eligibility.
Yeah, but they can't. But they're ineligible already because of academics or something. They have been preseason. Akron, nobody made a big deal out of that because nobody ever thought Akron would win 6 games. That came out, and I'm sitting here. I was thinking the same thing last night. I'm like, oh boy, I'm starting to look at who they play. And then I remembered, and I saw a story, and I was like, damn it, they're ineligible. It's academics. Something like that. I think it's academics, but yeah. Either way, if I was Akron's administration and their coach, and they get to 6 games, I'd get them damn kids a ring. I'd get them a freaking bowl ring, something, because that place has just been such a disaster, and they are playing their ass off, and they're playing some good football. By the way, I did not realize Ben Finley could run it as well as he can. But both quarterbacks, did you see? Look at the stat line. Both of them, 9 of 26. I mean, just a tough outing.
3 interceptions between the 2 of them.
I want to go back and watch Ben Roethlisberger tape when he was at Miami, because that guy, you look at that guy in his career in Pittsburgh, and it makes total sense, doesn't it? That he was just playing in miserable weather his whole career. Big guy with the glove,
running
all the
around.
things he did. Yeah, just kind of out there having fun. It makes perfect sense. Same with Josh Allen at Wyoming, right? These guys that but I want to go back and find some Roethlisberger tape. But Akron and Bowling Green, I mean, kind of a very sloppy, a lot of field goals, turnovers, all the things. And Bowling Green, I think it was their 4th starting quarterback of the year. So tough scene for them. Interested to see. I was wrong about. I thought Bowling Green would be a lot better. I thought they'd be able to run the ball, pound the rock against anybody, and they haven't been able to do it.
No, they hadn't. They've been pretty one-dimensional too. So it makes it easier when a defense can not really worry about the pass and just load the box. But you got to give credit to Akron. Shout out to the Zips getting it done. Jordan Gant is so fun to watch. He is a big-time player, and Ben Finley. I think Ben Finley has been the biggest story for Akron. Just his ability to throw it and run. So I hate it that they can't. I didn't even realize that they weren't bowl eligible.
Yeah, it was. Well, I remember them announcing it early in the year, and I literally was like everybody else. I was like, they ain't gonna win 6 games anyway. But now they're 1 win away from. Who do they play next week?
They have. Wait a second. They're done.
No,
Is that right?
can't be.
That's it. Because they started. Is
They
that
play a
right?
week.
Yeah.
Ain't no way that's right, Jeff.
I'm looking at it. They ain't
Yeah.
got no other games on. They're 4-7.
They're
5-7. Sorry,
5 and
that's
7.
it.
I guess you're right, huh?
I didn't realize.
Oh
that.
man.
Well, they were close.
Hey, 5 and 7
That's
though for Akron. I mean, that's a big win.
Huge.
That's interesting.
That's wild
Anyway.
to be in mid-November and your season's over.
Meanwhile, somebody's going to play till freaking end of January with a new coach, a whole new roster, half the roster in the portal by then.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, and that's where if you're Akron, you're probably like, let's get on with it. Let's get on with the recruiting. Let's get these guys in the weight room. Like, let's go. Let's build on this thing. You're probably excited about that. Anyway, tonight, Central Michigan at Kent State. Central Michigan 8.5-point favorites at Kent. Central Michigan better be careful. I imagine the weather is going to be bad, at least cold, but that probably benefits Central Michigan the way they play physically, the way they run the ball. Kent State relies quite a bit on Drew DeShields. I'll take the chips.
Yeah, I need to. What we got? Did you talk about the weather? 37 degrees, I think, is the high. Yeah, I like the chips, but I don't know. Drew DeShields has been playing well. That worries me a little bit because if they can somehow get up, might be difficult for Central Michigan. But I think physically, especially at the point of attack, they're just going to pound it. They're going to run probably 4 fullbacks. They ran 3 a week ago. They'll probably put 4 fullbacks in the game with old Matt Drinkle and company.
Yeah. And you got Miami at Buffalo. 40.5 is the over-under. Miami's 1.5. So it's a pick 'em pretty much. At Buffalo, Miami, DeQuan Finn has
left the team.
No longer with the team, whatever that means. Take that for what it's worth. Miami fans seem to be unhappy about it, like it was a player choice type of thing. You don't know. So we'll be careful about what we say there. You can speculate. I don't know, dude. I want to go Buffalo because I picked them to win the conference.
Well, which Buffalo team are we going to get?
Yeah,
is the question. They have been so inconsistent all year long. The defense has the pieces, but has given up a lot of points. But if you flip it to Miami, you got the backup quarterback who's had, Hessen's had a lot of snaps this year in for Finn when he got injured and then just this other situation. So I'm going to go check Martin in Miami, but I'm not confident about it. Not at all.
Yeah, you're right. Which Buffalo do we see the Buffalo team that tries to throw it all over the place? What's the weather in Buffalo? Can't be very good. So, or do we see the Buffalo team that can run the ball? Do they try that? Do they play well defensively? I don't know.
Joe says take the Bulls in the over.
I see it.
Love a home dog in the over. It's always a good throw it out there.
Yeah. And in the Sun Belt, Louisiana at Arkansas State. Arkansas State, I think, mathematically still alive in the West. With Southern Miss losing last week. I don't know. This would probably be the one the Cajuns win.
Probably. I'm going to go Ark State, though. I think offensively, they've just been more consistent and explosive than Louisiana. But Lunch Winfield, he's been fun to watch this year.
Yeah, ain't no doubt about it. We'll see if he hangs around and see if Louisiana can have something to be excited about for next year. I know we got a bunch of voicemails to get through. We had a bunch from Monday that we couldn't get to. 615-900-4286. How many we got, Jeff?
1, 2, 3, we got like 5, but a couple are 2-parters. And then I have one that I'm pushing to Friday. So, okay. And he's that's Emmanuel from Georgia State. So I'm pushing to Friday. So, okay. Emmanuel, if you're listening, Yours will be on Friday morning. But let's get to it.
Group of 5 guys. Again, thank y'all for representing. This is Chuck from Prairieville. I went to the Tulane game. That was a good game. Now, the defense gave up a lot of passing yards. I'm just kind of wondering if they just wanted to keep everything in the front of them and tighten up inside the red zone. And apparently that worked. Velkamp threw the ball 59 times. Of his 18 incompletions, of course, 3 were intercepted. 2 he had to throw away. 2 were bad throws, which leaves 11 passes defended. The defensive backs did a great job. In fact, one of the plays happened right in front of me. I saw the ball in the air. I saw the target. I saw the safety take off toward the plate, and he got there just in time to knock the ball out of the air. Oh, that was beautiful. That was a great play. Roll wave. Remember, man up, play up.
Yeah, and I've been saying this about Tulane all year long, is they have especially defensively, they are extremely talented. Up front on the D-line, Sam Howard at linebacker, and that secondary, extremely talented. They just, from game to game, you just don't know which one you're going to get. So when they play like that, or like they have the last couple weeks, they're really, really hard to beat. Appreciate the call. We'll keep this thing rolling.
Group of 5 guys. MACtion Reed, Coastal Carolina alumnus. I've had a little under 24 hours to kind of just think about it. Still, quite frankly, I'm kind of pissed that we let them just knock our guy out of the game off of just, quite frankly, some Bush League bullshit, and we just didn't punish them for it. We didn't win the game, and ironically, our offense wasn't the reason that we lost. And yeah, maybe that's why you don't see a 3-man front in college football that often. When it works, but when it doesn't, you're getting gashed. And that's pretty much has been a trend since the Marshall game, or even as far back as the App State game, when we started that winning streak, or when we were into that winning streak after beating ULM, where they were getting by making adjustments, but overall Georgia Southern just had more playmakers than what Coastal has, frankly. And even though our offense kept us in it, our defense just couldn't. They couldn't stop the run. They just could not stop the run, frankly. And pretty much the JMU games lost all meaning. So realistically, unless South Carolina is kind of unless South Carolina's hung over from that choke they had against Texas A&M, I think we're looking at a 6-6 finish. And if we get to the bowl game and win, yeah, 7-6. But if we lose and end up 6-7 again, I really start to think that, Beck's future is going to be pretty cloudy. I think it's probably going to be pretty clear what things are going to look like when the chips fall, because it's been 3 years since we clinched the East, and quite frankly, it's starting to get old watching JMU whip everyone's ass. I don't like them. I think they're uppity. I think they're very snobbish and have their nose turned up at everyone else in the conference. And I'm really just want someone to knock them off their high horse, even if it means bad rep for the Sun Belt, honestly. But anyways, thank you guys for all you do. Covering the Group 5. At least the Panthers won today. Sweep the Falcons. Shots up.
Appreciate it, Iverson.
I was going to bring that up for anybody in the chat. Joe, you might be the only Sunbelt guy in there. I know y'all don't like James Madison, but do you want to see James Madison lose, or do you want to see a Sun Belt team potentially make the playoff? What would you rather? Let's play Would You Rather, right? Remember that game?
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather Sun Belt makes a playoff, but it's James Madison, or James Madison gets knocked down by Coastal or Southern Miss or Arkansas State, whoever it might be? So
I don't know. I want to see a Sun Belt team in it because I feel like they have a bad rap. I feel like they have this reputation of it's not a good conference, not by us, but by the powers that be. And I still don't think their rep will get in. I think they're going to give it to the American at this point, no matter what. But I think Jamie gives us the best chance. I'm going to keep saying it.
There's got to be an all-out chaos scenario I'll have to look at where, Tulane loses to Temple.
Yeah.
Memphis beats Navy. North Texas loses to whoever they got.
Cannibalize.
I mean, East Carolina's at UTSA this week, ain't they? At UTSA.
It's a tough place to play.
Yes, it is. And then James Madison loses to Southern Miss, and then you sit there, you're looking at, and maybe Western Kentucky goes and beats LSU this weekend. Whoa, boy, the conversation would get crazy there. You got San Diego State out there still hanging it. I mean,
hold on now. Well, Jacksonville State, my friend.
Yeah. Don't sleep on Jacksonville State. Gamecocks. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. But you'd have to Conference USA
for conference. Liberty severely tarnished.
Severely. And you'd have to have everybody lose another one in the regular season still, and then also the favorite lose in the championship, I think. And you still might. I mean, I think you get an Arkansas State or a Southern Miss or a Troy over Conference USA.
I agree. All right, let's keep the voicemails going. We got a lot to get to.
Group of five guys, what's happening? Sorry about it, Steeple. 45-40. Eagles on top yet again. We're back to 500, fellas. O.J. Arnold played out of his effing mind. 393 yards of offense, I think. Rushed for one, caught one, threw for one. I mean, O.J. played out of his mind, but Camden Brown sneakily had 5 catches for like 130, 135, and 3 touchdowns. And all 3 of those touchdown catches that he had, he caught from 3 different players. Weston Bryant threw one, JC threw one to him, and O.J. threw a 75-yarder to him. Unbelievable. Unbelievable offense. Defense, we'll see. But we're 5-5, fellas. Coastal's a damn good football team. Like, that's what some of these people just don't quite understand. Like, Coastal's a damn good football team. I mean, I've got to admit it. That was a hard-fought game. They came in and they almost had it. But, like I said, Eagles on top, boys. Eagles on top. One more game, then we get into the bowl. Got ODU next week. But, hey, listen to this shit, fellas. Pisses me off. So, of course, UGA, Texas play at 7:30. Our game started at 6. Great crowd first half. Students were great first half. What happened second half? They all left. Every last one of them. And it was a good game throughout the entirety of the game. So I don't understand it. But it don't matter. Eagles on top, baby. Let's go! God bless the group of 5 guys. God bless the group of 5. Hail Southern.
It's an absolute tragedy what happens at halftime.
Yeah. I mean, you see the worst part is it's the students that bugs me. And then it also bugs me. You don't see this as much at Georgia Southern, I don't think, but you see it at middle where it's even your donors. You know what I mean? That's the worst. Whenever, what was it, Jeff, 2 years ago, whenever middle lost, but then there was like an eruption of cheers from the suites because Tennessee had just beat Alabama.
Yep.
Yeah. That'll make you want to set something on fire, won't it?
I did. I almost set the entire stadium on fire. Probably would have done us some good.
Yeah.
All right. We got two more, but they're both two-parters.
Group of 5 guys, how you doing, buddies? It's my name is Ryan, and living in Virginia. I'm usually wouldn't do this, but I've got to say, my heart goes, is JMU. I've got family members that have graduated from there. And I've watched this program take off from the get-go. And I just, I kind of get it. You don't really want to pull for that new kid. But, we're not getting any love. But I'm telling you, these boys are for real. And folks better start paying attention to them. I know game day's been there and this and that, and Signetti left, and all of a sudden they're back. If I wasn't a fan, I'd probably hate them too. But they're for real. The depth on this team is, it's Power 5 caliber. I know the other teams are good too, but just don't see, I don't see any love. And I know it's hard because you got a lot of JMU fans that are kind of intolerable, and I totally get that. But this team is good. We'll see what happens this weekend. Washington State can fool you. They took Ole Miss down to the line, and they also almost upset Virginia. So, they can play some football. But, I think if they win this game, they can, they win out. I think they deserve to be in the playoffs. And, it's not like I don't think that, Navy or South Florida or any of the other teams are not good, because they are, but, I've watched this team, and they're on a mission. And this team wins. They've got a history of winning, and when you get that in your blood, you just you keep doing it. And they're not going anywhere. Like it or not, they're just going to be they're going to be a juggernaut in the group of 5 until something happens to upset the apple cart. But, this school thinks. Hey guys, it's Ryan again from Virginia calling you. My time ran out, and I apologize for that. But I do want to say to Jesse that I'm real sorry about your coach, buddy. I know that was tough. Been there. And, that sucks, man. I don't know what else to say. And I feel terrible that I didn't lead off the first voice message with that. I think I just had a lot of stuff that I felt like I needed to say. So anyway, I really am sorry, man. And, it's tough. And, I don't know what else more I can say about it, man. I'm not going to do any good by saying anything, other than, hey buddy, I'm with you. So that being said, I just wanted to say that, sorry for the rant, but I think that, I'm from the area. I've watched this program grow. They are a juggernaut and will continue to be. They can play with anybody. So I'd say if they go 3-0 the next 3 weeks, against Washington State, Coastal, and then the Sun Belt Championship, you got to put them in there. I mean, that's just I mean, that's hard to deny, man. I mean, I know the American Conference beats up on one another, but you know, it is what it is, and you know, they're 8-0, 9-0, or something like that the last 9 weeks, so 10 weeks. Anyway, that's all I got, and I appreciate you guys, and again, I'm real sorry about your loss. Love listening to you. Have a good one.
Appreciate you, Ryan, and thank you for the kind words, man.
Well, Joe, come on. Yeah, I mean, they are really good. We've been saying it. I just, it sucks that we have a format where you won't get both, you know, the James Madison and Tulane or whoever it might be that comes out of the American.
When you should.
I think they have to beat the only way I think that they could jump Tulane especially is like just beating everybody by 50. And they might. They absolutely might. And if Tulane has kind of a, like they did against ECU or Army, just one of those games where you're like, they ain't very good, which they might. So
yeah, we just have to wait and see. But appreciate it, Ryan. Let's get to our last one. Saved it for last. Steeple.
Oh boy. Two-parter?
Yeah, two-parter.
Group of 5 guys. Steeple _ PC _ 51. AKA as non-Notre Dame. To nobody's fault, it should have been Coastal playing JMU for the conference championship to go to the Sun Belt championship. But unfortunately, fucking defense can't stop no one. And give up 50-something yard run on a motherfucking 3rd and
did not have a chance to believe this.
13 inside the 15-yard line with a running back that already had 200 yards rushing. And you can't force a punt. I tried to wait a whole day before calling. I am livid because I watched my other prediction, Troy, get their ass whooped. And I didn't mean to bring them in that, but I had to. Watch App State get fucking demolished. Sorry, Jeff. I know it's late, and I apologize. But my emotions obviously running high, even from Saturday. I'm trying to dial it in. There were so many mistakes that were made in that game that I didn't understand, and Coastal should have pulled that out. I mean, I know the quarterback got hurt, but we still end up putting up 40. We had to change our format of the game. We had to throw more than run, and I understand that. Maybe we would have ate some clock. It maybe caused a different outcome of the game, but we still put up points. Defense supposed to stop, and it didn't happen. I know we was in their home. It was a valiant effort. Coastal still has a decent record. But damn. I'm just at a loss for words, and I'm almost getting to the point like Stu where I have to take a break because it's just absolutely killing me. There's no way Coastal can win the conference. JMU got Washington State next. Coastal has South Carolina. And I think JMU is just going to try to make an example of Coastal, so all they can do is play spoiler. Show them what it's going to be like. So, anyway, love the group of 5. Bless you guys. I hadn't felt this way since my son had played. Anyway, y'all guys, have a good one. Jeff, congratulations on your store. Going to get to Nashville and get a good visit there. Chance up.
Appreciate you, Steve. Anytime you come to Nashville, the Middle Tennessee area, I got you, brother.
Oh, Steeple, man. That's the first week. That's like the first week all season he's been wrong.
I know.
It really is.
No,
He's been on it. So I wonder what his predictions are for the rest of the way. But yeah, JMU clinched the East. So, hopefully they don't let up.
Yeah.
But Coastal, look, for the way they started this season, to the turnaround, regardless of what happens the rest of the way. I mean, they probably lose to James Madison at the end of the year, but you got to give them a lot of credit for the bounce back that they've had.
They could have mailed it in a long time ago.
100%.
And they didn't.
Could have mailed it in. They could have fired Tim Beck and been hiring the 15th best available coach. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, that's all we got, Jeff. Thanks everybody for calling. Thank you for listening, for watching. If you enjoy the show, follow us on all the socials at Group of 5 Guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Believe Network, wherever you get your best podcast. Subscribe to the channel, leave a 5-star rating and a review. Tell your family and friends all about us. Have a great Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you Friday morning. Right here.